14-226, State versus Timothy Foster.
Judge, did you set a date for Mr. Ballman?
We'll just send out a scheduling order. Theft of property, or a credit card, and theft of property. Sir, I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you're appearing here for an arraignment.
We waive reading of the information, and her plea of not guilty appears to be on the Division 4 document.
Okay.
Have him reappear next week.
This says Judge Webb here next week, yes, on the 20th. Anything further?
No, Judge.
14-258, State versus Patricia Barnett, controlled substances, fraudulent, acquiring those fraudulently, gross neglect of parental duty resulting in delinquency.
We waive reading of the information, and her plea of not guilty.
Okay. I'll have her appear before Judge Webb on November 20th. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. That'll be all, ma'am. Thank you. 14-14, State versus Caitlin Marler.
I believe Ms. Marler had failed to appear in front of Judge Webb, so she's probably under the alias section of the document.
Okay.
We could have her just reappear on that division next week.
Very well. November 20th, 10 o'clock. 14-205, State versus Jacob Sifford, breaking or entering, theft of property.
This is on the revocation docket today. I've been in contact with Mr. Chisholm. If we could have a reappearance, I think this court here December 4th.
4th.
We'll be able to resolve it at that time. I believe we've already waived the 60-day requirement. If not, we do so now.
December 4th, 10 o'clock. Thank you. 12-53, State versus Farrell Whaley. Psych theft. Original crime. Appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Judge, we'd enter a plea of not true to the allegations.
Set the hearing for December 4th. Okay. 14-258, Patricia Barnett, controlled substances, neglect of parental duty.
Judge, you just recently called that case, and I believe Mr. Bayless entered a not guilty plea on our behalf. The only issue remaining would be bond.
Okay.
And I've spoken with the prosecuting attorney about this, and that I would be requesting a bond reduction.
Okay, let me read the affidavit
Sure.
right quick. If she bonds out, where would she be living?
Judge, she lives with her boyfriend here in Salesville in Baxter County, and she is a recent transplant to the area, but a review of her criminal history shows some old misdemeanor offenses. One's a violation out of Florida from many years ago. The other's a criminal trespass. Nothing to speak of in that regard. I believe that if the court would release her on her own recognizance, there's no reason to think that she wouldn't reappear. Also, just from reading the affidavit, she was very forthcoming with the officers and cooperative.
Judge, if the plan is to release this lady from jail so that she can go right back to the same home and live with the co-defendant who was also charged and live in the same home with the same young man who she's taking Adderall from.
Is
That's not a plan.
the child still in the home? Where do we know where the child is?
He's with his adopted mom, his stepmom.
Does it say
This
in...
lady is from out of state, and giving her an OR bond is really a way for her to walk back. She has no connection other than the co-defendant.
Judge, she also has, again, no criminal history. I believe the alleged victim in the matter is 16 years old. We're not talking about an extremely young child in this situation. I know that doesn't really matter all that much, but it does make a difference.
I'm not worried about just her getting any more Adderall from her 16-year-old, her boyfriend's 16-year-old son. I'm talking about everyone else's Adderall. That's really what we're focusing on here.
Well, I don't know that whether she'd have access to other Adderall if the 16-year-old weren't present. One condition of any bond would be there would be no contact with the 16-year-old, but I don't know. What kind of bond are you wanting?
We're asking for an OR bond, Judge.
I wouldn't be inclined to do that.
Right now, I believe it's at $5,000, Your Honor. Her income is such that she's unable to do that at this point.
I'll set the bond at $2,000, no contact with the victim at all.
Thank you, Your Honor.